There's more than one layer. Yeah.
There is. Usually you have to go back and rewatch it, and I don't know. So yeah, I'll probably rewatch that one at some point.
We've talked a lot about movies and music. I mean, movies and TV. Have you been into new music lately?
We haven't talked any music at all.
Well, Tom Waits.
Well, but that was Tom Waits in film.
An acting role.
Yeah, he does. So, but I did notice watching Buster Scruggs, and watching Buster Scruggs, he does sing a little bit in it.
Okay.
This kind of warbly, crooning sort of thing that's odd to me. It doesn't sound like anything that he's ever sung, except that I had picked up this Mark Ribot, who put together this I think it was called Songs of Consequence, and it's new and traditional protest songs.
Oh.
It was something that he put together and then put out to aid, essentially as an anti-Trump thing.
Wow.
As a big protest thing, social thing. Mark Ribot has been the guitarist on many, many great albums, including some seminal Tom Waits albums from the 80s, basically the post-jazz stuff.
Cool.
And great guitarist. And he put this together, and Tom Waits sang a song on this, and I had never heard him sing like this before, and it was this odd kind of warbly crooning thing.
Do you think he had to train for that?
I think he just decides to try something.
That's cool.
And I was kind of off-putting a little bit because, I don't know, I've been listening to Tom Waits for a long time, and it was just, I don't know, not what I was expecting. I don't know if I like it or not yet. It was interesting to hear him do it for Buster Scruggs, and so somebody else who's listened a lot to Tom Waits, I would like to talk about that with, because there's
chocolate Jesus.
I mean, you get basically you get his stuff from the 70s where he does kind of essentially he's got this cross between William S. Burroughs and Bukowski and a little bit of Kerouac and this kind of, bohemian kind of jazz bum sort of sound.
Coffee shop with a cigarette in your hand.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then he moves into this German Baroque stuff in the 80s and does a lot of gruff, growling, singing sort of thing. And then there's this out of nowhere. So I don't know. I would be interested to talk to somebody about that. But he's really good in it. Music-wise, very briefly, I talked about it on Limited Engagement a little bit this week. I went to the record show that was at the Crescent.
Yeah.
This was the second year for it.
Yeah.
Did you go to the one last year or this year?
No. My record collection is like 12 records now because I've had to sell off so many things, and I don't even have a record player right now.
It's difficult to listen to records without a record player.
True.
Although
I won't get rid of the ones I have because I love them.
On YouTube, they will tell you how to make a phonograph out of some basic household items. It'll ruin the record, but you can listen to it. Yeah.
I need to be able to hear these records again. That's the whole point. I'm going to buy one. I was at Zia Records, and they have the little ones that fold into a suitcase. I think that's so cute. What, is the quality terrible?
No, that was my record snob shake of the head.
Okay. So I used to have Technics turntables, and then I've moved like 15 times in my life, so I had to sell them at some point.
So like the Crossley stuff is supposed to be good for like a budget sort of thing. The records now are one of those, especially record players and stereos, hi-fis in general, are kind of one of those things now where people can sink thousands of dollars into a system, and
not me, because I'm still going to move a few more times before I settle down. So I'm going to get one of the ones in the suitcase. Don't judge.
No,
at least I can
already
listen.
did.
At least I can hear my records again.
It's not a real judging.
Oh.
Anyway, so I have. There's this unfortunate thing that's happened, which is that, I can still go to like Stinkweeds and have the sort of experience that I enjoy, which is one of the main de-stressors for the last 25 years of my life has been either playing guitar or going to a record or bookstore. And it used to be Zia. I could just spend tons of time there, lost in the stacks,
around.
just
That place is
flipping
huge.
through stuff.
Yeah.
Zia, Stinkweeds rather, I can still do that because there's only ever one or two people there at a time, and they just leave me be, and I can go, through, and nobody bothers me. I'm just on my own. Now, if I go to a Zia, it's the thing that I hated eventually about Barnes & Noble, where I worked for years, was that it went away from the just letting people browse and find things, and maybe you go have a genuine conversation with somebody about books or music or something, to the robotic by rote sort of, you finding everything okay?
There must be something about me because I deter that.
I don't know why. I'm not an approachable
see
person.
Me and we make eye contact.
I'm famously unapproachable.
I'm really friendly, but in a store, I'm like, fuck off.
I don't get it. And the ridiculous question of, am I finding everything okay?
Yeah, sure.
Which is usually when I have stuff in my hand, it's just like, no, I'm not. What is this?
To your little table guy and pick your wedgie.
I want to get in my zone and just be left alone for that.
Oh no, I'm really good at that in stores because I hate shopping. That is true, and it's a weird thing, I guess, for my gender, but I love fashion. I hate shopping. If I go into any shop, I know what I came there for. And that's true for Zia and Bookman's. And if I go clothing shopping, I don't dilly-dally. And I do that. I have this look. Because I worked in retail. I think maybe that's where I got it from. You have to do a fake little song and dance. I always hated it when I was on that end. I'm like, I'm acting. I don't care about these strangers. Hey, you finding everything? How can I help you? I hate that. So I just give them a cold look and they leave me alone. I don't know. I think I've kind of perfected that over the years. I'm different in restaurants because I like restaurant staff. And if they want to engage, I'll engage with them.
But I like a genuine engagement. And maybe that's why I look open enough to somebody coming up to me and being like, oh, that Leonard Cohen album is great. That album changed my life.
Well,
blah blah blah. And having
cares about it
exactly.
Yeah.
But all that ends up happening is you finding everything all right?
Okay, so I remember there was a time not that long ago that I was really hard up, and I had to take a bunch of my Sonic Youth CDs to Zia. And the kid behind the counter, I say kid because he was at least 10 years younger than me, was looking at my stack, and he was like, "Oh my god, you have a lot of good stuff right here." And I was like, thank you. And also, if you want to talk to me about Sonic Youth, we can talk because that's something I want to talk about. But no, I don't just want the generic, you finding everything okay?
I've begun to, so this is segueing into the record show because I've become, eventually I just get overwhelmed by being around people, which is odd. It just gets
weird.
Worse and worse as I get older.
Totally get it. That's why I moved away from New York City.
I went to the record show last year, and even then was a little claustrophobic for me and a little much, right? Because you've been to the Crescent. There's not, it's a long room. There's not a ton of width to it, right?
Right.
And so last year they had this big, basically round table. And they had all the vendors going around it, and you could basically start in one place and browse your way around the entire table, and then go out. Essentially, there were a couple of other satellite spots where there was another similar table area. But this year they put things in rows. I think it was to be able to have more vendors or something. There was stuff everywhere, and it was just. I was trying to look for stuff and get lost in like I like to do, and just kind of there's this sort of, I guess, nirvana or something that I can reach where none of the outside world gets in, and I'm just there with the records.
Ooh, have you ever been to the Visiting Nurses book sale at the State Fair?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, go on.
but I couldn't get into that because there was not enough aisle space to move
to
around
comfortably get around
without people like bumping asses. Like there's this. If I wanted
people
when
logistics
at the point where I wanted to get out, there was the front of me bumping into somebody's ass, and then the ass of me also bumping into somebody's ass.
That's
and I'm not
miserable.
that wide a person, so.
Jeez, this isn't Times Square. Come
terrible.
on.
Yeah. Anyway, so I did not have such a pleasant experience this year. I still dropped like $100 on records.
Of course you did.
And I felt bad because I'm sure there were people there that I knew. I ran into Jason Woodbury there and talked to him for a sec at the Zia section. And
some people go shopping together to socialize. I would never do that.
That's a solitary adventure for me.
Yeah, I don't want to hang out in the mall longer than I have to hang out in the mall.
I'm afraid that I might just hermetically go into a shopping online thing. I just bought a bunch of clothes on Amazon, which is the first
really
time
funny.
that I've ever done that. There were only like workout things. Like
it wasn't
socks,
even
underwear,
like
shorts.
Nordstrom.com or Dillard's. It was Amazon.
No, it was
okay.
It was. I was like, you know what? I just need to get some new workout clothes, and I'm not going to go someplace to get them.
Well, no, that reminds me of a show idea I had. I'm pretty sure this has been done, but it's just that my idea is that I just live in my house for a whole year, and I never
it could
leave.
Be done.
I just
You would
order
not have to do
everything,
it.
Groceries, clothes, entertainment. And I just stream stuff, and I never leave the house. The thing is, I'm too social for that, and I have to go to bars eventually. So
see, that's the thing. I feel bad about drinking in a bar because I feel super alone anyway amongst people.
Oh my God, you're like a Ben Folds 5 song. Sorry.
Well, no, I did this. You know what? Last year, Janelle went on a little trip without me or something, and probably also to see her parents. But then I was just like, you know what? I'm going to go to bonus round. I'm going to sit at the bar. I'm going to have a drink. And I was like, oh, this is not a good situation. I feel like just a lonely island alcoholic at a bar amongst all these people. I just could not have felt more out of place.
Did you bring a notebook? Because sometimes you can just observe. I don't know.
Yeah, no, I just
yeah, it's alienating.
I can't. I don't know if I've reached a point.
That's how I met one of the loves of my life.
Oh, yeah?
I was at the bar. He was at the bar. We both ordered hot toddies. My girlfriends were supposed to meet me, and they were late, and they were late, and they were more late. Mm-hmm. So by the time they showed up, I was playing pool with this guy, and I was already kind of half. And I said to my girlfriend, "Is he even cute? I can't tell." She was like, "Yeah, he's cute." I don't know. We've been talking all night. I don't know. Anyway, speaking of Crescent, so last Wednesday, I haven't done this in so long, but I heard a band on the radio, and they said they're playing at Crescent Ballroom tonight. And I was like, well, shit, I have Spanish class, but after my Spanish class, I could go over there. So I went over there. It was Butterbones.
Never heard of them.
I really like them. It was weird because I was very aware as soon as I walked in that I was the oldest person in the crowd. That happens to me at Waves concerts also, but like there's a huge under 21 section. And I guess at Crescent Ballroom, they make those people come in the back door, which
really?
It's kind of sad.
I didn't know that.
Ghettoizing.
Quick side note, I have had sort of that experience when I went to see Joe Strummer at the Cajun House, which is long since gone. It's become something else.
Totally forgot about that place.
I was 18 or 19, and I had to go up to there was this kind of like stairway and then a balcony perimeter sort of thing, and I had to go up to that, and that's the only time that I've ever had to not be in the... Well,
the nice thing about Crescent, I think they knew that this demographic loves this band because they let them have the whole front section, which was fine with me because those kids started a mosh pit. I'm just standing in the back with my rosé, feeling like somebody's old mom, like, which was funny. And also I ran into a student there, which was even a little bit, just to add another layer. Anyway, but the band is really good. And the singer, I think they're Canadian. Don't quote me on that because I have to look it up. He's got an amazing voice. He's like one of these, like, Ian Curtis or Peter
that
Murphy
kind of,
or like
like
Mark's,
baritone sort of thing.